Because, okay. So that's good that you know the time. Yes. And what we need to know more than anything is our path. It's not a path of dread. I don't live in dread. I stand in the totality of the God power that is within me. And because I stand in the totality of the God power that is within me, I see it in my life, and I don't live in dread nor in fear. I have things that I'm concerned of, absolutely, because I have a family and I have a fleshly side to myself that I am intertwined with. But whenever my fleshly side begins to show itself strong in the fear aspect, my spiritual side, the God power, immediately takes over and it supersedes. Yeah, you do. You speak. Well, you must understand what are demons. I preach the gospel to demons when they try to show up, in humans too. Friend, what is a demon? A demon is a spirit that has no body. It has been bound to the ethereal. It has no way of forming in the spiritual realm. It is an unclean spirit. There are unclean spirits that are demonic as well. There are Nephilims that are demonic as well. So where is Jeroboam? Is Jeroboam a demon? This is good. Is Jeroboam a demon? Because he's bound to the to the unseen realm as well. All of these demons and all of these spirits that are bound there, I know, but listen to me. All of these spirits and all these demons that are bound to the unseen realm are not Nephilim. God has cursed people that we see of in the Bible to the unseen realm. Right. So when we speak to these spirits, because honestly, I believe that, sure, the world is frightening. Friend, I've been so frightened that I could taste fear. There have been people, listen to me, there have been people that have been so hurt by the decisions that they made for worldly treasures that they have frightened me to the point that I could taste the fear. For nothing. I hadn't done nothing to them. And in them doing such things, put a curse upon themselves. There are degrees and there are rules and laws to this space. All we focus on a lot of time are the output of the demons. The demons cannot stand amongst a righteous person. We have authority over them, but we can also extend mercy and grace first before. Absolutely. Listen, that's what I'm getting to. We have authority of them, and this is why it is spoken to of us being able to distinguish and to navigate our own differences, because it will be us that judges the angels. We will judge the demons. So if we do not stand in the authority of who we are and the powers vested within us, how are we going to be able to judge the demons and the angels? The demons, friend, are running around here rampant because nobody knows the power in which they have on the righteous side. There are some, I'm not going to say nobody, but there are some, but there are many that are not standing in total integrity of this power. And all of us are guilty of it, myself included. That's why we are being transformed into the image of Christ. Yes, the image of Christ, the consciousness, the transformance is the consciousness. It's the raising of the consciousness. It's not an image that is a physicality. It is all internal. It all happens within us. And this transformance is the Christ consciousness that allows us, that lays upon us the knowing. You don't get this knowing from a book. When God, well, listen to me. When Jesus came to Peter and the 12, and they came into this particular region, the Caesar Sephir, when they came into the particular region, and Jesus said unto them, who do the people say that I am? And then they said, you're Elijah. They said that you're John the Baptist. And he says, who do you say that I am? He's saying this because it goes back to what I said. If you are not able to distinguish amongst yourself, how are you going to be able to distinguish amongst the world? How will you be avatars in the world? And then Simon says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus says unto him, blessed are you. Yeah. And Jesus says, blessed are you. Why? Because you have learned a thing through the consciousness, through the Christ consciousness. This was the reason why Jesus asked, so that he could find for himself the truth of it. He's like, okay, I know what the answer is already, but I need to know, am I effective amongst you? Because the goal is for you to know. You need to know this thing. And thank you so much, Lauren. I appreciate you. You need to know this thing like you don't know, like you know better than you know anything in the world, because it is of this rock, this knowing, that I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And it is of this rock that we all must stand. It is the fundamental truth that we all must have ascended to be partakers of this promise, of this knowing. And in knowing this thing, what did he say? I didn't see you praying. He prayed, we be one with another to be one. Absolutely. And the one mind is this consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the ascension. And he's saying that it is of this one mind, this one way of thinking, this idea, not even an ideology, this truth, that you will come into the knowing of how to deal with these low-level unclean spirits. All will be rectified, friend. All of these spirits, all of these energies were once righteous righteous energies. All of them. It is said one spirit, a spirit that transcends. Absolutely. You can't understand from which it flows. When it said it's to transcend comprehension, you can't understand the science of it to the point that you can manipulate it. You're not able to manipulate it. It's non-corruptible. That is why it is written, lean not in on your own understanding. Absolutely. You always must cross-reference your understanding with the Christ consciousness that is within you, the knowing within you. Not always the Bible. You're not always going to have a Bible, but you have the knowing within you. And this knowing, you must always cross-reference. You must always cross-reference with your actions and your worldly understandings. And this is how you sift a thing. Look, remember, okay, so what was Lucifer's sin? It is written on our hearts. Absolutely. Lucifer's sin was choosing himself over God, friend. When Lucifer was created, he was beautiful. He had knowing, he has knowledge, he has many sins. Yeah, he has many sins. But the main thing that took him out of alignment was seeing himself capable of overcoming God. He challenging God. He reached to a state that was beyond his maker, in a sense. And then he lied about his trade, holding onto glory that should have been passed to. Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. And in him doing these things, it took him out of alignment, out of the divine alignment he confronted many times and continued. Yes, absolutely. And it snowballs. And you become offended, and you're punished, and you become offended, and you begin to scheme, and you begin to use the wisdom in which God gave you to war against your creator, to come up under that which God has subdued you out of love to teach you a thing. It becomes this whole convoluted scenario that must go the distance. All these things must go the distance. All these things must, from Adam and Eve in their fall and them having to go the distance to seeing the wrong in what they did and working that wrong out and overcoming it, to come to truth and then standing in truth, which is perfect. There's nothing perfect outside of truth. Yet, in order to get to that place, you got to go the distance. And it's the same way with the demonic realm. It is the same way with Satan, the Satans, Lucifer. It's the same rule for everything. The only thing is, friend, I think at this point, is that the descendants of Adam have got to, in totality, get in alignment, get back into alignment to the fundamental truth. You see, Satan and all of Satan's minions, the demonic realm, all of these things are contingent upon Adam and Eve's descendants standing in their truth. I'm here to tell you. And as long as Adam and Eve cannot stand in their truth, the misalignment is upon the shoulders of Adam and Eve. They are the missing link, that little piece that's out of whack. But once they begin to get back in alignment, the whole system realigns. But if you can keep Adam and Eve out of alignment, you can justify the whole system being out of whack, and you can bear the sin upon the shoulders of Adam and Eve. Because the system must continue to go on, even if it's out of alignment. Satan is he's completely out of alignment. But Satan's job was to serve Adam. But if he can serve Adam in Adam's misalignment, he's wholeheartedly standing in the truth of what he was designed to do. This is the brilliancy of the thought pattern here. It's all mental, and it's all high level thinking. But if we're so bound on fear, and it was not a lot of time, and they're gonna do this, and we're gonna be continuously standing before this door. What was this passing away, and will be is being birthed? It is being birthed, but what is being birthed? What is being birthed, friend? What is being birthed? Because what God, new creation, absolutely. What creation is that? What eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor mind imagined. Yeah. That's true. But that's for those that love him. Absolutely. So I think, and I'm completely with you. What I want us to focus on though is this. What was the first priesthood? It was the Levites, right? It was a Levitical priesthood. And then God decided that that was not going to be the way of things. But the Levites didn't get the memo. It was the Levites didn't get the memo. They didn't get the memo. The first priesthood was the Levitical priesthood, and the Levites did not get the memo of the passing of the baton. God just decided to change it up. Even Israel, the Hebraic house, when God in the book of Baruch, the order of Melchizedek, yes, a priesthood forever, in the I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? When in the book of Baruch, in the Apocrypha, it goes into detail about God taking the scepter of power from the Hebrews and giving it to whoever comes up next, whoever is the highest bidder. This is huge. These people never saw this happening. They couldn't have imagined it. You can read it in the book of Baruch of how shocking and serious this was. This situation that happened in the book of Baruch, when God takes the scepter of power from the Hebrews and gives them into enslavement, was a defeat that we still have not come from up under. We haven't come from up under it, friend. It is the reason why we are in the state that we are in, the Hebraic house. It is the reason why the world is the way it is. It gave the Gentile nations access into a game, a system that they would never have access to, which is a beautiful thing. But we see it happening in the book of Baruch. Now, they never would have thought it would happen. All these shocking things. When God created Adam and tells the beings that are here, that were here before Adam, to bow to Adam, it was shocking. They didn't get the memo, friend. And oh, thank you so much. Thank you. They didn't get the memo. And these are aspects that we got to face if we're going to be partakers of this promise. This promise is not given. It spoke to the Levites being the priesthood. It spoke to the children of Israel being exclusive. Yet all of these things somewhat changed. The Old Testament speaks to exclusivity. The New Testament comes and it says inclusiveness. I'm just telling you, we've got to be able to trace the hand of God and see how God moves. This is what God wants of us. He wants us to study his ways so that we are not taken aback or surprised. Like the children were in the book of Baruch, they were shocked. I really want to go into it right now, but I'm not going to do it. These people were shocked, friend. Dumbfounded. All bets were off. Never could they have imagined it to happen like that. They're thinking that, okay, we know we don't have it all together, but we got some of it together and we're going to be able to stand in between the gap, and God is going to continue to give us a chance. No more chances. His chosen people gave out excuses, so he told his servants to out into the city and bring all you can. I think I understand what you mean. I think I agree. I don't really know. But are you talking about to the book of Baruch? Yeah. And it's our job to really be able to capture what is going on here, because I keep telling you, we are the ones that need to rise to the occasion and stand in our truth and what God has called us to do to capture the agreement, the promise. Or else we won't capture the promise. God is not a man that, or a God that takes his words back. He can't. But if we don't capture the promise, what happens? And I think this is the part that we're missing. We're so stuck on, okay, I'm going to go out here and sin. I just did the Bible study on the Pharisees and the elders and the chief priests creating in their system hierarchies that God did not deem, which exclude people that really want to be useful in God's kingdom, and just rejecting them. Outright rejecting these people because of personal interests, having nothing to do with God. These are people God sends to be useful to the children in overcoming. But these people that are in control of God's system are rejecting them. Now, these people are bystanders. I don't know what outliers. They're outside of the system that the children see being God's system. They're not partakers of the brethren within the system, because those brethren don't accept them. So they're making waves, but they're not making big waves. They're like me and you on this app right now. The amount of people they reach are a small pool of people, but through God, the message is magnified. Yet those of the system, in their reject of these people, don't reject anything but show that they reject God. Even if they love God, them rejecting people of God's house makes them reject God. And what it does, it fosters a system where nobody meets the mark. We just stay in this cycle and the clock is ticking. So that's really what you should be focused on, instead of demons and all this kind of stuff. I don't worry about no demon. Friend, I have seen demons. Have you seen demons? I have seen demons, friend. I have been in environments where demons were swimming. I've seen them. I'm telling you. They feed off of fear. They need that. Yet when you deny them that, or you are able to control the level of fear that you emit, they're just a demon. They're not anything spectacular. They're not. We are all bound in this life for a particular season. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. This is all temporal. It's set up that way. It comes and it goes. Nothing in this life is lasting. Nothing. Even the sun will go away and there'll be something new. Everything is transitional. But that which is lasting is the spirit within you. Stay close to that. Do the things that honor that. Feed the things that feed that with the things that it needs. And you will be all right. I'm here to tell you. But let me see. But I walk in authority now, so nothing can work anymore. We are sojourners in a foreign land, just passing through. That's a fact. We are. We're pilgrims on a pilgrimage. Getting everything we need. Getting as much of value that we need so that we can move on. Or even if we reincarnate, if you believe in reincarnation, you reincarnate with more treasures. There must be some form of reincarnation going on. Because in the book of Jasher, when God speaks to his creation of Adam, he speaks to this in so many words. He's saying Adam doesn't know himself, and him not knowing himself, he will sin the worst. And what is there after sin but death? Death is just the passage point of something else. Yet if you've lived a terrible existence, if you've done things in this life to yourself, so that when you leave this life, you're born into this life of nothing. You have a lifelong existence of accumulating nothing. Dust. Stuff that doesn't do anything for you. And then you leave this life with nothing but experiences in vanity. And all of the wickedness you can do to accumulate more vanity. That's your fault. And that is what many people are doing. They're living lives accumulating nothing but vanity and experiences that give them vanity. Dust. Nothing but dust. Bypassing the core reason, the beauty of their existence. Totally overlooking it. It boggles my mind. That's how thick the spell is. Just caught in the dream completely.